Hola clase, here we are again, online learning day number 4. So, you started out with your warm-up, normal warm-up, 4 frases en español, escribe en español. You wrote it into Microsoft 365, typed it in there. I gave you your accents back on Monday, so you should be able to do that. Make sure you have your name and the date for each one. You share those warm-ups with me on Friday, just like always. Some of you have been doing it every day, and that's okay, but I prefer them all together on Friday. Okay, as always, no translators on any of your work. All right, let's go into today. You need to download the guided note sheet today. We're adding more adjective notes today. We're doing plural adjectives, yay! Okay, you're going to complete them with what we're doing next. These are your notes. You're not sharing your notes with me, so don't worry about that, but you do need to write them and make sure you understand what's going on. All right, here we go. So far, we have learned that adjectives, just like in English, describe people and things. Same thing in Spanish. Okay, little something different. We learned that adjectives in Spanish have a masculine and a feminine version. Okay, masculine adjectives need to describe masculine nouns. Feminine adjectives need to describe feminine nouns. Okay, I also told you that the default, when you look up an adjective, it's going to be in masculine form, and you need to know how to change it to feminine when you need it. Okay, usually most of your masculine adjectives end in an O, not all, but most. And to make that feminine, all you do is change that O to an A. All right, and we have several adjectives that are neutral because they end in E. Adjectives that end in E are neutral. They're used the same for both masculine and feminine nouns. Okay, one thing I forgot to add yesterday, but I'm adding it today, so add it in your notes. Some adjectives end in dor, like the adjective trabajador. You have that in your vocabulary. Notice it comes from the verb trabajar. We had trabajar last unit, which is to work. Trabajador is hardworking. Okay, the adjectives that end in dor can be made feminine simply by adding an A to the end of it. So trabajador is your masculine form. Trabajadora is your feminine form. Okay, the act of changing the adjective to fit the noun is called adjective agreement. You're going to hear me say it. You're going to see me write it. If you do something wrong, I'll type in there, make sure your adjectives agree. You're making sure the adjective fits the noun. Is it masculine? Is it feminine? They have to agree with the gender, masculine or feminine, with the nouns that they modify. All right, here we go. Guess what? They also agree in number. What? So if the noun that adjective is describing is plural, we're going to make that adjective plural as well. So in Spanish, the adjective needs to agree in both gender and number. How are we going to make that adjective plural? It's going to look really familiar to you. If the adjective ends in a vowel, you're going to add an S. If the adjective ends in a consonant, you're going to add an ES. Same way we did with your nouns. Okay, you do the same thing with your adjectives. Remember, all adjectives in Spanish must agree in number and gender with the nouns that they are modifying. Let's take an example. The backpacks are ugly. Okay, well, we know the backpacks from a few units ago. Write that down. Is it singular or is it plural? Okay, it's plural. You're going to use are. Are comes from the verb ser, or should, because you're talking about the backpacks being ugly. That is a description. Ser is your descriptive to be. You can't use estar because that's only for location and feelings right now. You're talking about description, so you're going to conjugate ser for the backpacks, something we've done a while now. Then you're going to add the adjective ugly. This is the new part for you. You're going to make ugly agree with what? Well, what are we calling ugly in that little sentence? The backpacks. So ugly needs to agree with backpacks because backpacks is the noun that ugly is modifying. Okay, so how do you say backpacks? Write it down. Then conjugate the verb ser for backpacks. It's plural. Backpacks, you could also say they are ugly. Then you're going to write in the adjective ugly. There we go. Las mochilas son feas. You got that? You're good. Notice, las mochilas is the backpacks. My the has to be plural. We learned that a long time ago because backpacks is plural. Son is the correct conjugation of ser because the backpacks is just they. Now, I took the adjective ugly, got rid of the O, changed it to an A because backpack is feminine, made it plural, added an S because it is also plural. Las mochilas son feas. If you got that right away, excellent. If not, keep working on it, and we're still going to. Okay? All right, another thing that's a little different in Spanish than what we do in English. This is why sometimes you hear Spanish is backwards from English, because of the placement of most adjectives. In Spanish, when there's no verb separating the noun and the adjective, like there is in this little sentence, Marta es rubia, es is your adjective. When that doesn't exist, your adjective is usually placed after the noun it is modifying. It's still agreeing in number and gender, still singular, plural, masculine, feminine with the noun that it's modifying, but it comes afterwards. So if in English we say the red table, in Spanish you're going to have the table first and then you're going to add red, okay, making sure it agrees in number and gender. So how would you say that? Add the table and then your adjective red, but make red agree with the noun the table. All right, you should have la mesa roja. La mesa is the table. It is feminine. Red needs to be feminine as well, and it comes after it. Okay? Same thing with the brown dogs. In English, we say the brown dogs. In Spanish, they're going to say the dog's brown. What do? You should have los perros morenos. If you did cafés, that's fine too. But los perros, definitely the dogs. Morenos is one of your words for brown. It's actually brunette. Okay, it is masculine because dogs is masculine. It is plural because dogs is plural. All right. So, notice before I said usually adjectives are after the nouns they modify. That's because of this. Adjectives that deal with numbers or an amount are placed in front of the nouns they modify. Most adjectives come after, but if it is an adjective that deals with a number or an amount, it's going to come before the noun, just like we do in English. Many pencils. Many is dealing with an amount. Muchos lápices. Muchos still agrees with lápices. It is masculine and plural, just as pencils is. Okay? But most of our adjectives are going to be after. Another exception, the adjectives good and bad can be placed before or after the noun. A lot of times you're going to see it before. You're going to say the good boy, el buen hombre. When good or bad comes before a singular masculine noun, drop the O. It's not going to be there. When it comes after, it's going to be there. El hombre bueno. Okay, so if it's in front, you're going to drop the O. If it's after, you keep the O. Okay? Those are just the two exceptions that we're going to deal with right now. Anything dealing with amount and good and bad. All right, now we're going to practice. Practice these on your own. Notice there's no verb in the middle, so you're dealing with correct placement as well as adjective agreement. You can pause this now to fill it in, or you can do it later, but I'm about to go over it. So the smart boy. There's no verb in the middle, so I'm going to switch it around literally to say the boy's smart. That should be el niño inteligente. If you use chico, that's instead of niño, that's perfectly fine. What about the interesting girl? Remember, I've got to switch it around. The girl interesting. La chica interesante. If you use la niña, perfectly fine. What about the red-haired girls? Placement and agreement. Las chicas pelirrojas. Chicas is plural. Pelirrojas must also be plural as well as feminine. And it comes after the noun that it's modifying. Okay? The pretty woman. That should be la mujer bonita. Remember, mujer means woman. It is definitely feminine. So your adjective must also be feminine. And of course, it's coming after the noun that it's modifying because there's no verb in between. All right? The large tables. You could also change that to the big tables. Same thing. Las mesas grandes. Big needs to be plural because tables is plural. And it comes after. The small book. El libro pequeño. All right, what about the nice male teachers? I could have put male in parentheses. Male teachers, I want one word. I don't want two words. So I'm saying the nice teachers, but I'm meaning the teachers that are male. All right, that should be los profesores simpáticos. What about the old man? El hombre viejo. The easy test. El examen fácil. And the ugly door. La puerta fea. Okay, hopefully you did good on that. Email me if you have any questions. Okay, so for today, other than the warm-up, we've just gone through some practice. You've got VHL practice. You got 3 activities to complete on your VHL account. They've already been assigned. Log in, complete and submit your work. The last one, I wanted to point this out. The last one, you're changing the sentences to plural if the original sentence is singular. So if it says la chica pelirroja, you're going to say las chicas pelirrojas. Okay? If it has the verb in there, you've got to change the verb too. If it says la chica es pelirroja, you would change it to the plural. Las chicas son pelirrojas. Okay? And then switch it around. If the sentence it gives you is singular, you're going to change it to plural. If the sentence it gives you is plural, you're going to change it to singular. Okay? Don't forget that everything needs to agree. Your definite articles, which are all your these, el, la, los, las. Your nouns need to agree with the definite articles. Your verbs are singular or plural. They change when you change your noun. And the adjectives now, singular, plural, masculine, or feminine. Okay? They could all change in your sentences. Again, email me if you have any questions on that. Good luck. Don't forget to keep practicing because we don't get the normal practice we get in the classroom. We usually do a lot of that. So work on your vocab and your grammar any way you can. I've got the help tab on my blog for any ideas. We've got quizzes, Quizlet you can do on your own. The VHL site is an excellent site. You can look something up online and start practicing from there. All right, guys, have a good day. Miss seeing ya. Bye.